But we will leave.
Okay.
And you will
In
be
case we
around.
go back.
But just remember, only one day you have. Sunday.
That's it. Tomorrow. I think it's like a 6-day pass, right?
Смотрите, как сван, какие эти деревья классные.
I'd like to welcome you aboard the Jungle Princess this afternoon. We're going to start off with our theme song here. Sal, he'll get you something to eat or something to drink. Now he has a little special that he's doing behind the snack bar there today. The hot dog sounds that are all connected together kind of forms a highway for boats so that they don't have to go into the rough and unprotected waters of the Atlantic Ocean. This is kind of like the I-95 for boats. We're just leaving the longest man-made section on the East Coast, about 27 miles from right here all the way back up to Little River up on the north end. That section was the last section to be opened, started in 1932 and completed in 1936. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's idea to build this waterway. He felt that we needed a safe inland water passage during warfare to be able to move our products safely along the coast. We're going to keep these green rice plantation in this area, operated all the way up into the 1950s. It is a gated community. This is a little man-made cut just ahead of us here. The river goes around to our right, and that area over there is called the Oxbow because of its shape. And it is a very popular area for local folks to come out here and drop anchor and swim and enjoy the waterway and being outside. Also, a lot of the transient boats that are traveling back and forth will anchor for the evening and then continue their journey the next day. Produce about 20,000 watts of electrical power. Now, Captain Jim's swinging over here to our right just a little bit, and we're headed right towards that osprey nest in that cypress tree there. If you look up in the top, you can see one of the osprey and the nest right under it. The osprey is also called a sea hawk or a fish hawk. It just depends on where you're from. They come to this area every year in March and they leave in September. They raise 2 chicks. They mate for life and use the same nest year after year. That's one of the adolescents that was born this year, and they're learning their flying and hunting skills right now. Then they'll be going back to Florida in September. Hear that sound? That's not a happy camper telling us to get away. And that's one of the areas where we go to look for alligators. We do some little trips on our pontoon boats, the blue one, and we go up in there looking for alligators. We're seeing them about 50% of the time right now. During the spring, we were seeing them almost every day because they really do. They get out and they move around quite a bit when it starts warming up. But they're like us, you know, in this hot weather, they look for someplace cool, up in the swamp, out of the sun, in the shade. Be kind of dangerous because they grow to be up to 5 feet long and weigh up to 200 pounds, and they're real bad to jump up in front of your boat. They just jump for no reason. Now we do have a tide change in here twice a day, just like everywhere else along the coast. Now we're about 30 miles by water upstream from the Atlantic Ocean, so that's too far for the salt water to come in a 6-hour tide change. Usually the tide change is between 2 and 4 feet. And And that's all that remains. Now you can see them right now coming up. But that's all that remains of an old Coast Guard patrol station that was used during the Second World War. And they would leave from here, go out in the ocean to look for German subs. These little river shacks that we see over here have been built by some of the local guys. They just use those kind of like a little campsite. They come out here and build them as cheap as they can. And they'll spend the weekend and hanging out, get away from that honey-do list, and bring their grill and TV. I guess you could call that a redneck yacht club over there. They were in the news last year. Some of the people in the state were complaining.